How do all? Welcome to Sherwood Pines. Thought I'd come out for a quick blast today. Going to do a bit of a different video today. Thought I'd do a little bit of review of my bike. I've had this exactly a year now, so I thought I'd make a good opportunity to give people a little bit of feedback that might be thinking about buying one. Not just a Levo, you might be thinking about an e-bike in general if you're coming from a retro bike. So yeah, a bit of feedback, and hopefully it might be used to a few of you. So yeah, let's post a few comments and a few bits and pieces while I'm flying around this place, and who knows, yeah, it might be something of use to you. So I guess the first thing is why did I go for this particular bike? So did all my research, looked at all the various bikes that were available, you know, lots of very good and recommended bikes out there. So did a lot of reading up on everything, and in the end I went for the bike I've currently got, which is this 2021 Specialized Turbo Levo. This is the competition, so it comes with the Fox Ribbon 36 front fork, 160mm channel. It's got the Fox air dampener at the back, which has got 150 on this frame for the travel, and it's SLX Shimano everywhere else. So it's SLX brakes, which are dual pot brakes, so that's 4 pistons in every one, so it's plenty of stopping power. And then it's got the SLS drivetrain. We're using the new micro spline 12-speed cassettes. That does have a downside to it, which I'll mention a little bit later, but that's the general spec of the bike. Everything else is all standard Specialized attire, so it's the Royal wheels, and you've got the Commander drop post, and everything else is all Specialized. The other thing I do change quite frequently is my tyres. Currently running Minions front and back at the moment. I don't go too crazy with my riding, so I'm running a 2.5 up front and a 2.3 at the rear, which I find is more than enough for what I need. It rides very well, grips very well. One word of wording if anybody is new to e-bikes. This is my first e-bike, and the one thing I have discovered, they are very expensive to keep running. I guess a lot of it does depend on your riding style, but I'm quite a heavy rider, hence the name of my channel. I'm still very bike fit. I do ride regular bikes as well as ride my mountain bikes, but as most blokes, I do like beer and pizzas, and that's my downfall. So I can't get the ratio right between riding and beers, so that's the same as anything else, I guess. Not much difference to all the other riders that are out there. But with the cost side of it, to give you an idea of my own costs, since I've had this, and I've had it a year now, I've gone through 3 chains. I'm now on my 3rd derailleur, and I've obviously slashed quite a few tyres, and between both sets of wheels I think I've had to replace 5 spokes. A few different reasons for all that. Popping spokes on the wheels, very easy one. Every now and then I do ride quite hard, and when you put a heavy rider on a bike, it's just so much more pressure, so much more stress on all them components, especially when I jump, and I do jump every now and then. That's quite a lot going on there, and every now and then when I'm hitting a fairly gnarly downhill section, you can actually hear that one spoke every now and then go, usually on a big contact, you know, a big rock or a big root or something like that. So I've got very good at changing spokes out and ordering new spokes, so that's one thing. The drive chain, a little bit different. I think a lot of that is mainly to do with people's riding style and obviously changing gear. So one of the things is, with myself and my riding, it did take a little bit of a while to get used to all this extra power on tap. You know, it's always there whenever you need it, and of course you've got to be a lot more wary about when you want to change gears. One other thing as well is I've just had to order another cassette, simply because is all that extra power and that torque, you do get quite a reasonable unbalance of which gears and which cogs you're using at the back. Because of all the extra power, you don't have to change gear as much. You probably should, But of course, when you've got power available at the flick of a switch, why would you? So because of that, I've ordered another cassette, and getting microspline cassettes in the UK at the moment are an absolute nightmare. So anyone new to it, microspline is a new component form factor that Shimano's been using for quite a while now. Because of that, there's none of the third-party retailers making aftermarket cassettes. So the other cassettes you can buy that fit on my hub, of course, are the Shimano ones. And literally everywhere in the UK has been sold out for weeks and weeks and weeks. It got so bloody silly, I've recently actually ordered one off Germany. So that'll be coming from Germany. And when that comes, hopefully I can pick up all these extra bits and pieces with it and get it all fixed. Let's just get up here, bit of a rocky section. And down we go. There we go. So yeah, that's my only bugbear with the Shimano microline system is, you know, there's literally nobody making them. And if there's nobody making them, then it just means it's very problematic getting spare parts at the moment. I guess like most things, it must be still be locked down, so there's nothing unusual there. At the moment I'm actually running this cassette, which has got about, I think about 1,500 miles through it so far since I got this bike. But I've had to slap together an old chain. I did try a new chain, but the chain was so tight it just wasn't fitting into the cassette right. It was slipping around. So got some power links. I managed to put together a chain which has got a decent amount of wear already. And at the moment it's running fine, but I do know it's on its way out. I don't like running old chains, especially once they've snapped. You know, I don't know if there's any more weak points elsewhere. Either a big rock or a big grind in the gear or something that's made it weaker. But at the moment, yeah, took it out a few times now since I put this temporary chain arrangement on. It's been fine, it's shifting fine, it's moving fine. Just one of the gears at the back, I can't remember which one it is. Just a little bit of slippage every now and then, and that's just under really intense load. What do I think of this bike? So, other than a few bits and pieces I've had a wear and tear so far, I'll say it is an excellent bike. The amount of power that you get from this Bros motor is absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's truly outstanding. You know, and it's a weird thing with e-bikes. You know, I originally came across them when one of my friends bought one, and this guy's fit as a fiddle. And I just couldn't get my head around it. Why has he got an e-bike? You know, surely for these old fat guys like, you know, can't pedal up hills and want to keep up with their mates. And this is an ex-racer that I know, riding around on an e-bike. Didn't make any sense. I had a word with him, and he said, you know, plain and simple, the way to look at it is you put the same effort in, but you're doing 2, sometimes 3 times the speed. It is literally as simple as that. He's purely got it because he's addicted to the extra speed that an e-bike gives you. You know, he's going on some climbs as fast as some people are doing it on the flats. And because of that, it just adds an extra element to his riding. Simple. So, I took the plunge last year. I got one as a demo bike, and it literally just blew me away. In a few different ways. One of the biggest things which I've never experienced before is when I got that demo bike last year was the wheel size, because I've always rode 26-inch wheels up to that point. And when you go into a 29er, it's crazy, you know. It almost feels like you're in a 4x4, you know. You literally will roll over anything. It's absolutely outstanding. I think the other thing to mention is all this Shimano gear on this bike. Yeah, very, very well spec'd. Apart from the bits and pieces like the microsphere, I'm a bit of a pain in the arse. Everything else is spot on. You know, you've got lovely shifting, and with the SLX, it really does shift well. And the brakes are just spot on. As you can imagine, you do go through quite a few paths, especially in the winter, when all that grime and that grit is kicking about. You know, they don't last long at all. But you know, pads are not expensive. You know, I don't bother with the Shimano ones. I usually use the Uber Matrix pads. I find them absolutely brilliant for all their bikes, and I use them on all my bikes. So it's a very good tackle. I can't remember what the cost. I think it's about £10 a pair, something like that. So they're not too inexpensive, you know what I mean? They're not too bad at all. These bikes do come with a 2-year warranty, which is nice to know. I think that's on the motor. All the other solid components like the frame, they're all lifetime warranty, so which is also a very nice thing to have. You know, if you did crack that frame for whatever reason, there's a very good chance that a Specialized will look after it for you and take care of it. Yeah, I've got to say though, like, if you've never ridden an e-bike before, it's very, very addictive. You know, all that extra power, all that extra speed, you know, that help on all the climbs, it really does make a difference. It's even if I spend a couple of weeks riding this, I'll get back on my normal bike and I'm still lapping good times. You know, I'm checking my Strava. You know, my Strava on my normal bike, you know, I'm actually faster than what I was before I had an e-bike, which is yeah, very strange. Just goes to show, don't it, that fitness is fitness and pedalling is still pedalling. The one thing I do notice on this is, you know, I can finish a ride and I'm still breaking a sweat. You know, it's coming out in buckets. The only difference is I'm putting in the same effort what I would do on my normal bike. I'm just going a hell of a lot faster, and that's just absolutely brilliant, you know. Right, farewell, goodbye. This is the last section here at Sherwood Pines. It won't be my last section. One of the advantages about e-bikes is obviously extended range, the amount of effort you're putting in. So it's about, I think from memory, it's about 7.5 miles is this red loop. So on the e-bike I'll probably do about 3 loops. And it usually takes, I don't know, 45 minutes a loop. So, you know, that's riding at a moderately quick pace, sorry. You know, I'm not going too hectic. You know, there's a bit of traffic around, like, with a few kids and a few families out on the trails. But it's still, it's a reasonable pace, you know. It usually takes me about an hour to get around this place on my normal bike, you know, when I really go for it. Which is, you know, a reasonable time. I'm pretty sure the fastest guys out there, like, you know, the racers, I'm sure they get around this in about 14 minutes on a normal bike. But that's just like, you know, that's all this bike does really, more than anything else is. It gives you similar speed to what these guys have. Yeah, that's it. That's the end of that loop. I'll pull over in a sec, just have a wet of water. It's time to have another go.